Welcome back to the How to Analyze Sports with Excel series. This is the 5th video. This is probably the part you've all been waiting for, what we've been building towards, and that's how we can utilize the data we've been able to compile so far into betting on sports with, in this case betting on the NBA. Now there's some simple ways you can do this, there's some complex ways you can do this. It's really up to you. This is your model, you can do what you want. The simpler ways might not win you money, but at the very least it's better than doing nothing, and it's something you can build upon. One misconception people have is that you don't need your approach to win you money every time you run it, you just need something to measure against. That way you can calibrate your model going forward based on the results and adjust as needed. And you can also see where your model excels at. If your model says something is a coin flip, of course it's going to lose 50% of those or more because it's a coin flip, right? But if your model does really well on games where your model differs greatly from the Las Vegas line, then that might show you have something, even though if the overall results for the model are not profitable. As long as you're using a sliding scale and there's a point in your model where everything at or above that says it's profitable, you have something on your hands that you can use. So let's get started. So we're going to pick up where we left off. Here's our adjusted season stats adjusted twice, right? So we can get right into this. The first thing we can do is kind of make like a mini power ranking here, and we're going to rank everybody off efficiency differential, which is just offensive efficiency, D2, minus defensive, E2. That's all there is. And we can fill that in, and then we can select that and go to data filter, and then rank everybody by that. So the strongest team according to our double adjusted stats were the Bucks last year, and then the Warriors and the Raptors. This looks pretty accurate based on what we knew about the NBA last year. So what this stat right here is telling us is that on a neutral court against the average team, the Bucks would have about 8.1 more points per 100 possessions than their opponent, the average team. So the Magic and the Nets were truly the average teams last year. So that's pretty much what the stat would be telling us. Kind of. These teams weren't completely average as these numbers aren't zero, but they're the closest there are. So if the Bucks play the Nets or the Magic on a neutral floor, they would have about 8.1 points more per 100 possessions than the Magic or Nets. There you go. So that's what our power ranking right there is telling us. So you could kind of use this to bet. So say the Bucks are playing the Celtics, you would just calculate that minus that equals 0.2 minus 0.7. And on a neutral floor, you could expect the Bucks to be favored by 3.8, and then you'd factor in home edge. There's a lot of ways you could do that. You could go to the league average tab and multiply these numbers. So we can multiply each team's efficiencies by 1.24 and minus 1.24. We could add the points. We could add 1.36 points to the home team and subtract vice versa. So let's do that. So say the Bucks were the home team. It would be P2 plus 1.36. So we could expect the Bucks to be favored by 5.16 against the Celtics at home. On the road, it would be P2 minus 1.36, minus 2.4. That's probably the simplest way that you can approach this right here. And you can compare that to the spread and make your bets accordingly. There's nothing wrong with that. It could win you money. If you were to be consistent and track that all the way down and find the patterns and be able to calibrate, you could turn that into perhaps something that would, at the very least, not lose you as much money. So say we wanted to get a little bit more complex and actually use the actual home and away averages instead of the league averages. So let's create a new column here and select these two tabs right here, ED equals D2 minus E2. Right? So we got that. So let's say the Hawks are playing the Celtics and the Hawks are the road team. So you'd use the Hawks away ED and use the Celtics home ED. And you'd average these together, Q3 minus Q2, which equals about 14 points per 100 possessions. Now keep that in mind, it's per 100 possessions. So you'd also need to calculate tempo, and this is where this part comes in. So let's create a new tab called Stage. So away team, home team, OE, tempo. So we're going to use a VLOOKUP here. We haven't done that yet. A VLOOKUP looks up the left-hand most value in a sheet and returns the column number that you select. I'll show you how it works. So let's say on our stage that we have the Mavericks playing the Nuggets, okay? So we're going to use a VLOOKUP to find the Mavericks away offensive efficiency. So lookup value is going to be the team we're looking for, so the Mavericks, comma, the table array, which is the table that we are extracting it from. So we would use the adjusted away table right here. Select all that, comma, and then the column number. So the offensive efficiency is found on column 4, and always use false. And there we go. That's the Mavericks away offensive efficiency 106. And then we do the same for the Nuggets. You want to use your dollar signs here in front of these tables so you can copy and paste it. Dollar sign in front of the D, and that's the Nuggets home efficiency right there. And we can copy and paste these. The only difference is that we want to change the sheet name as well as the column number. We're pulling from column 5 now. And lastly, we're going to do it for tempo. Whoops, I forgot to change this to home. And I need to change this to away. I'm losing my mind here. So tempo is found on column 3. And there we go. So we have this in place. Now what we want to do is calculate expectation. Expected OE, expect DE, expect tempo. So in order to calculate these expectations, we need league averages. The league average efficiency, which we can pull from over here. We don't even need a VLOOKUP for this. The league average efficiency, that number right there. And the league average tempo, it's this number right here. And the league average defensive efficiency is the same. So now we can calculate our expectation, and that's going to be league average for offensive efficiency equals E4 plus E2 minus E4 plus the Nuggets defensive efficiency F3 minus E4. So the Mavericks expected offensive efficiency is 102.61, which is also going to be the expected Nuggets defensive efficiency. Just put that right here. And then vice versa equals E4 plus E3 minus E4 plus Mavericks defense F2 minus E4. And there we go. We can expect the Nuggets efficiency to be 117. And now our expected tempo. How many possessions do we expect to have in this game? Equals G4 plus Mavericks tempo minus league tempo plus Nuggets tempo minus league tempo. We can expect the game to have 97.56 possessions because both teams play slower than the league average, so we can expect the game to have about 4 possessions less than the league average. And now we can calculate a prediction. Points. It's a very simple calculation. It's going to be expected offensive efficiency for the Mavericks, so I2/100 times tempo, K2. So we can expect the Mavericks to score about 100.1 points. And then the Nuggets, I3/100 times K3, 114. So we can expect the Nuggets equals M3 minus M2. So we can expect the Nuggets to win by 14.5 points based on this calculation. So you'd compare that to the spread and see what happens. You would track this over time and see if your model needs any calibrating or if you have a winner there. It's probably too simple to win with, but like I said, it's a starting point. You can use it as a starting point for calibration, and you can also measure it in a linear manner. So if there's a relationship between that number and the differential between the Las Vegas spread that shows a positive return, then you might have something there. You could do the same thing for season stats, and for college you would want to because there's just not enough home and away games for each team to have a meaningful sample size. So you would use the season stats, and you would calculate home advantage and factor it in. So one way you could factor in home advantage would be this. So let's pretend that these stats right here are not the home and away stats, but the season stats. You would simply just come here. So the league average efficiency differential is 1.24. So let's go back to the stage. So you'd pretty much do this. You'd put those parentheses around here, or times 0.9876. And then you do that, close these off, times 1.0124. And there you go. That's pretty much all you do, and you do it vice versa for the defense. There's other ways you can calculate home advantage, though. That's probably another video I could do just on that topic alone. But if you're using a league average, you probably can't go wrong there. It probably wouldn't be the best way to go, but it would work. What you could do You could measure the relationship between the quality of a team and their home advantage, and maybe use a linear regression model to calculate expected home advantage based on how good a team is, because hypothetically, at least in college, you would expect the better teams to play better at home. So that's how you could make predictions using this model, but you could also use a linear regression model, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So what we want to do next is go to our raw log and create a new sheet, and we're going to call it regression. And we want to copy some columns from here, namely the team, opponent, and the points. And then change these to 3, 4, 5. I'll show you why in a second. Drag it over. 3, 4, 5. Drag it over. So we're going to do some VLOOKUPs. VLOOKUP A3, we're looking up the team. Table from adjusted OA. Don't forget your dollar signs. Comma. And now I'll show you why I add those numbers. This. That way we don't have to change each one manually. False. And then we can just drag it over. And it's because I forgot the dollar sign right here. And now we can just drag it over, copy that, and do the same thing here. The only thing we need to change is to B3 and change this to home. There we go. And now we can drag it down. And then we can create a table on the end called margin, which equals C3, the points, minus D3, the points. And then we can fill this all the way. Yep, I forgot a dollar sign. Need a dollar sign right there. And there we go. Okay, so we're gonna want to put this in a new sheet. So I have a sheet called Regression Basketball open. I'm just gonna copy this. Right click here, paste the values in, get rid of this row. And we can get rid of the points, and that should be good. Save that. So we're going to use a program called Orange 3 to do this. We could do it in Excel, but you're limited to 16 independent variables in Excel. But in Orange 3, you can use as many variables as you want. That's why I'm going to use that. So this regression basketball file we created is so we can import it into Orange 3. So select File, and we're going to select our regression file, Regression Basketball, reload. Make sure these team and opponent ones are called categorical, and make sure you skip them so they're not factored into the model. And we want margin to be our target variable. So you just select this, target, apply. And then you do this, linear regression, and then you can look at the data. And here's all of our coefficients right here. So what we want to do is we're going to want to feed this. So we want to create a file that's structured similar to this one with the same rows and everything in a new Excel document. So open a new instance of Excel, copy the header rows, and we want everything to be the same. So go back here to the game log regression table, and let's come up with some hypothetical matchups. All right, so let's say the Hawks and the Knicks, let's keep that there, but then let's change these. GSW and New Orleans. How about Houston and Phoenix? How about Charlotte and Miami playing Philadelphia? So here's this. So we're going to put this in our new file. And we're going to call this regression test. All right, so close that. And now we can put our new file in here. Select regression test. Make sure these are skip. These are categorical. Apply. You can remove this, we don't need that, and we can do predictions. And there we go. And now we have our predictions, okay? So we can put this in a data table that we can copy and paste from. But we just need the first row, is all we need. This is the row that matters right here. We can get rid of all these. And now we have our predicted margins. So if it's positive, that means it favors the away team. If it's negative, that means it favors the home team. So it looks like all the teams I picked, except for the Nuggets, are home underdogs here. So this is the predicted margin our linear regression is predicting. We have the Hawks favored by 2.6 over the Knicks, the Warriors favored by 10.7 over the Pelicans, and so on. So we can compare these projected margins to spreads, whatever they would be, hypothetically, and see if we have an edge. And like I've been saying, you would do this over time, give it time to build up a big enough sample, and then you could see if the model is working or not, or if you need to calibrate it or scrap it, or if there's something there. You would compare it to the actual lines and see if there's any value, and then you would see if there's any correlation between your model being off from the lines and winning or losing the bet. So that's how you would use this model to do linear regression. So going back to orange, we can do a test and score, and then connect it back down here. And we have an R2 of about 16.9%, which isn't great, but this is a basic model. It's still a basic model with basic inputs. Even though we have all these adjusted stats in there, adjusted advanced stats, it's still a basic model. This is the NBA. It's not as predictable as college. While this is a good start, it's still not as comprehensive as it could be when it comes to modeling like this. But you have factors like teams playing differently at the beginning of the year than the end of the year, like injuries and all that stuff, teams not giving an effort every night. So there's a lot of ways you could tweak this. But overall, I hope you're able to learn in this video some ways that you can use this data to make predictions and to bet with, whether it be that simple predictions we were using earlier in the video or the linear regression method. There's a lot of different ways you can use. You can even combine your methods. You can do side-by-sides with your linear regression method and your simple prediction method and see if when the two are on the same page, if you have an edge when that happens. There's a lot of ways you can mix and match here. Don't think you can just rely on one model to get by. You need to have a lot of different outputs and models here to see which one works, which one doesn't work, and if there's any synergy between different models. Again, that's a topic for another time, but I hope this is a good start for you. There's a lot of different ways you can go about this. There aren't enough hours in the day to be able to cover every single way you can approach this, but these are just some ideas to get you started. So that wraps up video number 5. There may be a video number 6, there may not be. These 5 videos of this series are the core of this series, and anything else will just be extra from this point on. So until next time, this is Sports Betting Truth signing off.